Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is D, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is, you're not going to believe it, the Six of Stones and Exploitation again. And, we've talked about this card for so much over the last month that, twice it showed up in a reading here a couple weeks ago, twice it's back in that 7-day spread. Okay, so, again, pay attention to what's going on in your world through conversation to make sure you're not being exploited. Are you using your resources right? Especially after we had that Three of Stones in creativity. Just make sure that you're very guarded with what's going on in your world. Around, make sure you're not being exposed. People stealing your ideas, people taking advantage of you. Not talking about different things in your life that people can use against you. And, to me, like we said, I've talked about it so much. Just make sure you use your resources correctly. All right. But I do want to get some clarification on this. The same time that we did it before. I'm going to pull out this Tarot Grand Lux deck. And, we're going to, let's do a deep dive into this, and see why this keeps coming up. Is it about resources? Is it about, you as a person, you as a soul? Is it about your spiritual path? All right. And the two cards that came, that flopped right out. The first one is the Eight of Coins. All right. And the Eight of Stones, we can dig that up. All right. And then the other one is the Knight of Swords. Okay. Now the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Stones. So the Eight of Coins, Eight of Stones is all about skill. Okay. And it's working hard at your craft, understanding what you're doing. Okay. Gaining that new skill set, using it wisely. All right. Here the guy is making, oil lamps. He's got his handprint on the wall. This guy's working diligently on his studies. Okay, so as you are, moving forward on your path, pay attention to your skill set and make sure that if you've got a new idea around something, a new way of doing things, a new modality, a new process. That you have to take it to your higher ups, make sure you get credit for it. Okay, you're using your resources correctly. The biggest thing around that is to make sure that they don't steal that idea and put a trademark on it. Okay, one of the best examples that was given to me a long time ago by a teacher is if you have an idea, a creative idea, and you want to use that to your benefit, don't say anything to anybody. What you do is you write that idea down and you mail it to yourself. That way it's postmarked, it's dated, all right? And then you can go ahead and, start talking about it. And as soon as somebody, tries to snatch that, idea or, make it possible for them to do a trademark on it, you've got the copyright because you've got everything dated on that envelope, all right, that date stamp. And then the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Arrows in this deck is about the hawk. All right, and that's knights are fighters, tacticians. They go about doing their due diligence and making sure that they've got things lined up. Now this hawk likes to fly at great heights, and he can spot his prey from a long ways away. Okay. And when he does that, he moves in swift, in quick. He swoops down and he grabs that mouse, he grabs that rabbit, whatever it is he's looking for. All right. And with that Knight of Arrows, they ask that question is, what do you need to stand up for? So, with this card, what do you need to stand up for? You need to stand up for yourself. You need to stand up and say, you know what? Stop taking advantage of me. Put that hand up. Don't be that, especially if there's a narcissist going around in your life. You look at it and say, they're using me, they're using me. You know they're using you. Stop it. You have the power to just say stop. And when you say stop, all right, it's going to tick them off. But guess what? I'd rather have them ticked off than keep making me feel bad, right? They're using you to get what they want, all right? And that's not right. They're sucking your energy out. Okay, so, just like that skill set, you have an option of what you want to do. But don't let the resources get misused, whether it's in your skill set, whether it's in your communication style, ideas, love. Those that love are going to be the hardest ones, right? In a relationship or whatever. But you have to be quick to that. You have to put a stop to it, like right now. Stop. That's what the hawk's saying. Be quick, be decisive, make that move and say stop. Stop, taking my energy. Stop, using my money for something else. Okay, if we're a partner, we're supposed to be doing this together. If you're not in this together, you don't need them in your life. All right? So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck. The Six of Stones, exploitation, using resources correctly. And hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, give me a thumbs up. This is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be another Six of Stones exploitation. If there is, there's something wrong with my deck. So I'm going to sage it tonight, and we're going to get things straightened out, get things moving on the right path here. So, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless.